plaintiff, Billy Carr, says while married to the defendant, he got in trouble for selling drugs, and the judge gave him another chance. Billy claims he turned his life around and was inspired to write a book. But then the defendant wrote a book and defamed him by saying he was an abusive crackhead, so he's suing. Defendant Keshia Carr says when she started dating Billy, she had no idea he'd been in prison for shooting someone. Keshia claims while married, Billy cheated and impregnated another woman. And she's countersuing because she claims Billy defamed her in his book.
Start with you.
Your Honor, this is my ex-wife, and our relationship had been perfect, and my life hadn't been perfect. After high school, I was in a bad neighborhood, and I started seeing guys, selling drugs and fancy cars and stuff like that. So I got intrigued to it, so I wanted to start selling drugs. This guy was trying to rob me one day, and I ended up shooting the guy. I went to prison, did time for it, got out. And that's when I met my ex-wife. We had 2 wonderful boys.
When? What year?
1995. I'm sorry.
95, married?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. 1994 is when we met.
Good enough. You married when?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
He don't even know.
We do know that you married. Subsequent to marrying, what happened?
Okay. I want to keep around selling drugs. And in 2005, I got in more trouble. So the judge, he was about to give me the 3-strike rule, where if you constantly doing the same thing over and over. So he ended up giving me a second chance.
Yeah, your third chance.
Yes, sir.
All right.
He gave me a third chance.
Yeah.
All right. So I took advantage of it, and I went back to school. I got my associate's degree, and I got my master's degree.
Good.
All right.
Good.
And
you're very fortunate. Most people only get a second chance.
Yes, sir. So I want to write a book about my life, to try to encourage other people. Don't go through the same thing. Keshia, my ex-wife.
When did you write the book?
My book came out September 17, 2013.
When did you all separate from each other?
Okay, in 2006, she called the police on me to get out of her apartment.
Permanent separation started in
2010.
Okay, permanent separation in 2010.
Yes.
Okay, good enough.
In 2006, November, I was getting out of class and she called the police on me to get out of the apartment.
I'm sure you've been put out before. All right, got you. Like most men, they get locked out every now and then.
Yeah.
All right, dog gets locked out, I get locked out.
Yeah.
All men at some point get locked out. I've been married, it'll be 30 years since I met my wife. It'll be 30 years next year. So I've been put out every 10 years.
Yeah.
So I've been put out
Thank
3
you, Your Honor.
times.
It's normal.
All
It
right,
happens.
so.
It happens. Thank you.
And usually it's for coming home too late. That's usually the reason. The doors are locked, the table is put in something. Some reason you're locked out when you come in after 4. Yeah. All right. So give me some background from you, then we'll get into the details of your defamation. Yes.
Your Honor, my name is Keshia Carr. I met Mr. Carr when I was 18 years old. He was 25. I met him in Greenville, North Carolina at Super 8 Motel. I was there visiting my ex-boyfriend and his mother and father. I did not know that this man had a criminal background. I did not know he had recently been in prison for shooting someone.
Did that affect your relationship?
Yeah, it really did.
How?
Because he was incarcerated like over 10 times.
While you were together?
Yes, sir.
Over the course of how many years?
For over, oh my God, since 1994. We got married in October of 1994 till like 2005.
So for 11 years he was in and out of jail?
In and out of prison.
And you hung in there with him?
I hung in there with him through sickness and in health and all of that.
Okay.
And I mean, we went to New York. He actually beat me up because I would not bring drugs back in the car.
What year was that?
That was the next year in 95. I lost my baby because he wanted me to bring drugs back. He actually beat me up in the face, kicked me on the ground. I miscarried. I was only like maybe 3 months pregnant.
Is that in the book?
That is in my book, yes,
His
sir.
book. You wrote a book too.
I wrote one because he wrote one first, and I wrote it. I had to tell it. My book is called Keep It Real. Keep It Real.
All right, that's the defamation,
real.
the books. What did
Keep it
she
real.
put in her book to defame you? And then we're gonna get to what he put in his book to defame you.
Okay, when you ask me, I'll tell you what he
All
did.
right, let me hear from him. What did she put in her book that defamed you?
Okay, she stated that I was abusive to my 2 little boys. I have proof showing that I had them in my own custody for 9 months in 2012.
Not 9 months, Your Honor. Okay.
I got proof. Also, she got me for, she was saying I was on crack cocaine, which I sold that, and I smoked weed, but I ain't smoking crack. And then she stated that,
So she called you a crackhead. You said, I wasn't a crackhead, Your Honor, I just had it all the time. What did she put in her book that defamed you?
Okay, she stated that I was abusive to my 2 little boys. I have proof showing that I had them in my own custody for 9 months in 2012.
Not 9 months, Your Honor.
I got proof. Also, she got me for, she was saying I was on crack cocaine, which I sold that, and I smoked weed, but I ain't smoking crack.
Plaintiff Billy Carr says after he divorced the defendant, she wrote a book. And in the book, she lied about him being an abusive, crack-addicted homosexual. So he's suing.
So she called you a crackhead. You said, I wasn't a crackhead, Your Honor, I just had it all the time. One could argue, if you sold it and had it all the time, you gotta rock it up, you gotta take the powder, you gotta put the ether, you gotta put it in a bowl or in the water. You gotta put it in the pot of water.
Gotta cook it up.
Till it rock up.
Right.
And cook it up.
Cook it up.
All that, the fumes get in you.
Yes.
Yeah, it
So
do.
you were a crackhead. Who was your taster? You had a taster? To see how
him
good
and
it
his
was?
sister.
You gotta have a taster.
Like she know, like she had rolled in the car with me.
He was his own tester, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, he was
Yes,
testing
sir.
it to see if it was good.
Yes, because he would say premium. It tastes like premium. I didn't know nothing about that. Premium. That's his word right there.
No, Your Honor.
Premium. I don't know. I was just coming out of the country.
Hey, you say he tastes it?
Premium.
Nah.
Premium.
And do his mouth
Yeah,
just like
that's the
that.
good stuff.
And his eyes be that big.
He said his eyes
That
get
big.
big.
Come on. Premium.
You know what you're talking about.
I sure
She
do.
ain't said nothing wrong. Go ahead. What else?
Yeah, you're right, Your Honor. She also was saying that I was sexually active with men and women that got HIV in her book.
That last part sounds pretty explosive, and you deny, obviously.
Yes, sir, I'm denying it. It's not true.
All right. Ma'am, what do you want to say about the allegations he's made?
Yeah.
And the witness wants to speak. I don't know when you want her to speak, but she's throwing up her hand now.
She can. Yes,
All
please
right,
let
come
her
on up.
speak.
State your name.
Nellie Green, Your
What do you
Honor.
want to tell
I'm her okay, and what Mr. Carr was saying about his children, the 9 months that he kept them, he was in the process of writing his book. And Billy, I have nothing personal against him. I just wish he was what he say he is. Those boys was in Charlotte with him, and I had to send money. They were starving. They had no food. I drove an old lady all the way from Greenville, about four hours, to pick them up with the mother, bring them to my house. There's a neighbor that I sent money to her house to make sure those boys ate.
Okay, I'll leave you. You seem like a good church lady, so I'm going to take your word. Go ahead. You go to church?
She a minister.
She was raised in church. When she started dealing with Billy,
Most women are doing right until they meet a no good man.
Thank
That's
you.
for sure.
And I know
That's for
hope,
sure.
You know what? I told him when he wrote his book, I said, Billy, tell everything. And what she did, she told a little bit too much.
Okay, don't mess up her case. All right. All right. Now, there's allegations of his sexual activities. Well, what do you want to say to that?
The reason why I put in my book that he had sex with a man because in 2005, he unknowingly introduced me to a homosexual that he grew up with that stated that he had been with my husband. And he told me, he said, listen, I didn't know he had a wife. He said, your husband has been living a double life. He told me how my house looked. I used to go to school during the day, and I would do nursing work all night. He told me of how my bedroom looked, and he told me he gave him money. He paid him to have sex with him. This man also stated he slept with other members of his family. He said that one of his family members gave him HIV.
Gave the guy who talked to you
HIV.
And so you suspect that he transferred it to your
I don't
husband.
know if he transferred. I don't know if he slept with him before or
Okay.
after.
You sound very convincing. And the number one defense to defamation is truth. And all I have today is testimony. And her testimony sounds convincing. So I'm going to accept her defense. She just sounds convincing. All right, good enough. How did he defame you?
Okay, in his book, he made me look like a piece of meat, not like somebody that was his wife.
What did he say?
All he talked about was us having sex.
Y'all didn't have sex?
He said I was a bad mother and I left him for a younger man and I
Did
didn't
you
want my
leave him?
family. No,
Did you
I
leave
didn't.
him?
He left me, I stood by him. He had a baby on me and left me while we were still married. I stood by this man through a lot of things.
Let's get to the younger man. Have you said that she ran off with a younger man?
Yes, sir. I was coming home in 2006. And it was.
How do you know he was younger?
Because I seen him in the car.
How long after that did she leave you?
She didn't never leave me. She put me out.
She did. Let me give you some advice. She left you, whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, she's gone.
Yeah.
So, in 06, she put you out.
Yes, sir.
That's even worse than leaving you. Was it about the younger man?
Yes, 'cause she had told me that. She said she had met a guy from the hospital she worked at.
Did she say, I'm putting you out because I want this younger man?
Yes, she did.
All right, do you have that in your book that she told me that?
No, so I haven't.
Right, I know you don't. Yeah. All right, and your emotional distress is for what?
I had a book signed at Barnes & Noble's, and I was signing books and stuff, and the police officer comes in and said I had a warrant for child support. And when they came in and locked me up, took me downtown, I didn't have a warrant. It wasn't a warrant there for child support. It was.
So they let you go?
No, I had to make a bond for 2 checks from 2003.
So you had committed a crime?
Yeah,
So the police legitimately locked you up?
Yeah, but she called the police saying I owe for
Whatever, you call the police on criminals. That's what you do.
Yeah, she.
He is funny.
I see a criminal, I call the police. Criminal can't sue me. Tell me about this warrant.
Your Honor, I cannot fine him for child support. He only has to pay $50 a week.
Does he owe child support?
Yes, he owes me like about $2,000 right now.
So you should have had a warrant. So you had a right to call the police when you saw him.
Here's the child support.
You owe $2,000. Did you owe money?
Yes, I had a balance.
How much?
$1,600.
Premium.
Nah.
Premium.
And do his
Yeah,
mouth
that's
just like that.
the good stuff.
And be that big. That big.
It says,
That
get
big.
big.
Come out.
Y'all.
Premium.
You know what you're talking about.
I sure
She
do.
ain't said nothing wrong. Go ahead. What else?
Yeah, you're right, y'all. She also was saying that I was sexually active with men and women that got HIV in her book.
Plaintiff Billy Carr says after he divorced the defendant, she wrote a book. And in the book, she lied about him being an abusive, crack-addicted homosexual. So he's suing.
You had a warrant on you for something different, but you owed $1,600. She had a right to call. And your emotional distress is for what?
I have proof right here, the abuse.
What years? When did
It
you?
was 96 here. He been assaulting
96, man.
He been assaulting me the whole marriage.
When is the last assault?
2007.
Statute of limitations has expired on that. Have a good day, folks. What is that you're showing me, man?
That's for a night.
What
And
year? What year is that for, man?
90s, but he owes me child
What
support
year
now.
is that? You're not suing for child support. Remember what you're suing for. Defamation and emotional distress.
Oh, I thought the child support was included in that too.
That's it.
Did you tell the court when you filed your claim that
Yeah.
child support was part of your claim?
Yes, sir. I
From
did.
your claim?
Yes, I did.
Your mother said you didn't, remember? Now, do you remember who I said I
don't
believe
know
out of
what she-
all y'all? Have a good day. Both your claims are dismissed.
I just want to get close to my kids, and she.
No, he don't.
You know, if she
Billy,
can let
he
me
is
get in
lying.
contact with them.
Billy,
I'm satisfied. God had prevailed.
can I
It's all good.
Yeah, but he don't want to get close to his children. Your
They graduated. They just graduated in July.
Stop,
He
babe.
wouldn't even come to their graduation.
Billy, your
he has not taught his kids in over a year.
Yeah, your children-
All he wants is publicity and to go around and promoting that book.
Yeah,
he owed me child support right now for $50 a
Okay.
week. He owed me $1,600.
good, but-
He won't even pay that.
Yeah, Billy, your children want to see you. You didn't come to their graduation. You are hurting your children. They're the victim. It ain't about you and her right now. It's about your children. You need to stop lying, take that book and
I have took care of my kids.
You ain't done
I've
nothing.
been paying child support
And
since
then, keep
2000.
it real, that book
Billy,
is a lie
Billy,
hero.
all
wait a
right.
minute, shut up, Billy. I took care of your
I'm
children.
good.
Your son
good.
graduated ninth grade at my house. I went to his graduation. I wouldn't went to that school for them.
Yeah,
I've been in my
she's
kids.
daddy.
I've been in my kids' life
liar.
for years.
You are a liar.
I've been in my
You
kids' life for
You
years.
take that book you got and throw it in the garbage. You hear
Well,
me?
all right.